racing action very soon as we come back in just a moment to Sears Point Raceway. Stay with us.
Which clamp is faster?
An old-fashioned screw-type clamp.
Or the revolutionary quick grip bar clamp?
Let's watch closely.
Here they go!
And it's over! Amazing!
Oh.
Now for the instant replay.
Hey, look at that! One finger on the quick-release trigger and the bar slides right into position.
And there, he's tightening the clamp by merely squeezing the quick grip handle. And it's done! You know, unlocking the clamp again was a very nice touch.
The quick grip bar clamp, available wherever quality tools are sold.
Some people think he's a Superman. But when a 44-year-old has to throw 75 fastballs, even Nolan Ryan's muscles can ache. So after the game, it's the medicine doctors recommend most for sprains and strains, Advil.
For me, it's a couple of Advil, and those muscle aches are long gone. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Today, it isn't aspirin or Tylenol acetaminophen. It's Advil.
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
The Kodalux Processing 200-kilometer event here in Sonoma, California. Stop number 7 on the 15-race 1991 NASCAR All-American Challenge Series Southwest Tour. And now they've brought the flatbed truck out to Doug George's Ford Thunderbird. And tough break for that young man, 30-year-olds from Atwater, California. And yes, there are varmints and there are varmints. As we told you about some of the unbelievable critters you'll see out here, and he is certainly enjoying. That's not a very safe place to be in that tire barrier today, Ned, the way they're bouncing cars around on these tires.
We've seen a number of them in that position. That's what rousted him up, I guess. Get out in the warm sunshine here this afternoon.
Looks like Rodney Haygood and the rest of the Doug George crew are going to have their work cut out for them, trying to get that car back together. And we'll try to let you pick up some of your favorite cars. 97 going by Peterson. There's Pirelli, John Fox.
Fox and Pirelli getting back up towards the front now after making those pit stops a little bit later than some of the others.
Ursula Grift having gone by. Ray Hooper in the car number 70.
He's 2 laps down. He got penalized another lap. He came into the pits and was over the line, and so he got penalized again. So Hooper's now 2 laps down. There's car number 12.
That's Monty Martin. He's being shown 3 laps down.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit of damage to his car.
Not a bad effort by that car number 30, Tom Hubert, who's not raced at all in the Southwest Tour in 1991, to come out and be leading this thing. And I guess the big question is possibly fuel. He made that early pit stop, as you said, Ned, and now he is running a small block V8. Most of the cars in the field are the 355 cubic inch 9-to-1 compression V8s. He's running a 311 cubic inch V8 with the 390 carburetor. Should that give him any advantage at all as far as fuel consumption?
Well, I'm not sure as far as fuel consumption is concerned, Jerry, but it probably, with the high compression that he's running, gives him good acceleration off the turns. And you aren't on the accelerator full bore here for any long period of time, so you can get by with a high compression engine a little better on a road course than perhaps you can on a track where you're wide open for quite a bit of time. Now, I understand that Ron Esau, when he used to win a lot of races on the road course at Riverside, California, that he liked to run a high compression engine.
Well, let's see what they're thinking possibly down in the car number 30 pits, Tom Hubert, to see if they may have to make one more stop, or maybe they're going to roll the dice and gamble. Let's check in with Benny Parsons. Benny?
Jerry Punch, I'm down with Terry Elledge, crew chief for Tom Hubert. All right, they've asked him the question in the booth. Can he make it the rest of the way? Does he got to stop? Can you make it the rest of the way on the fuel you have?
We're going to go for it.
Now, that's not an answer. Can you or can't you?
We're going to go for it. We believe we can.
But you believe you can, but you're not sure.
Not 100%. It's going to be close.
You know, Terry Elledge, he was the engine builder for me back in 1979, and was it 79 and 80?
Yeah, that's correct.
When we won the race at Ontario at World 600 at Charlotte. Pretty exciting time.
It was, indeed. Fond memories.
Yeah, we could go back up in Victory Lane again, huh?
It would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could go back in Victory Lane. Unfortunately, we got another driver this time, Jerry.
Well, it'll be a nice little reunion, possibly. Benny Parsons and a former engine builder, and Terry Elledge and Tom Hubert go to Victory Lane.
Could be a record if he could here today, Jerry, if he gets in there with that 311 cubic inch displacement engine, because an engine that size has never won a Southwest Tour race.
That'll be very interesting to see if possibly. Now, the 311s were familiar in NASCAR racing on the East Coast because after they downsized in the Busch cars, that's what they ran for a number of years, the 311, before going to the V6.
Yeah, it was a very popular engine. In fact, there's been a lot of suggestions along the way for those that are not necessarily fans of the restrictor plates and say, why don't you cut the engine size down to 311 cubic inches? Because they remember how well those engines did in the Busch Series for a long, long time. And it is certainly not new to racing.
Well, very reliable engine.
Oh, yes, yes. As reliable as the 358s that are in the Western Cup Series now.
And the lights have been turned back on the safety car here at Sears Point as we are still in the 8th caution flag today, trying to get the track cleaned as the fans are waiting patiently, as are you. We thank you for staying around with us. More when we come back after this.
"24-hour stakeout.
Hey, I'm coming.
Your equipment better work, and in close quarters, your deodorant better work overtime. That's why Sure made new Pro Stick for men to protect for over 24 hours. In close quarters, we didn't want Pro Stick to come on strong then fade early. New Pro Stick has a long-lasting ingredient so our scents don't come on too strong but protect for over 24 hours.
Got it. Let's call it a night.
You mean a day?
Try new Sure Pro Stick for men. The Pro works overtime every time.
ESPN Home Video presents the perfect Father's Day. First, show Dad how you really feel about him. Give him a big hug. Get him a tie with matching gloves and a little something to wet his whistle. And for dinner, serve him the catch of the day with extra stuffing. If your dad's a good sport, give him the best sports. Only on ESPN Home Video. Available at your local Kmart store.
This Father's Day, show Dad you really care with him.
Stop this commercial. We don't need no stinking cologne.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking neck job either. Go to Dave's Salary and get us some good stuff.
Yeah!
What Dad really needs, you can only get at Dave's Salary. And you're in luck. Dave's Salary's Father's Day sale is going on now through June 16th.
How about new golf clubs?
It was outrageous.
A really funny show.
Yep in English means yes, and in Russian means sex.
I didn't see it. Did you?
What about that movie on HBO?
I was glued to the screen.
So have you guys been renting a lot of tapes lately?
No, I saw it all on cable premium channel.
Well, they've got these original shows you really can't rent.
We got it for the kids. Then we found out how much we like it.
You don't know what you're missing. Entertainment you can't get anywhere else.
Back at Sears Point Raceway, we are trying to get the final laps here underway with green flag racing action. Still the 8th caution flag today. The point standings here after 6 events. John Pox is the point leader by only 2 points over Rick Corelli. It's been a tough day. Now, Corelli has had a problem. Ron Hornaday currently running in 2nd spot is 3rd in points. Dennis Dyer has encountered problems. Brian Germoni, the Rookie of the Year, currently 5th in points. He's had trouble. Steve Johnson has had his troubles today in the car number 71. Ray Hooper Jr. has had that early problem with the right rear tire going down. Brett Bell 8th in the points. Len Cummings, who was not here at this event, and Bob Lyon, the 2-time pole sitter this year, has already struggled today as well. And they're running right now at 40 laps with 10 to go. Tom Hubert, Ron Hornaday Jr., Ken Peterson back up, John Pox, and Jerry Bowers from the Northwest Tour. 6 through 10, Greg Scheidecker, Craig Rodman, Herschel McGriff back in 8th spot, Tom McCarthy, and Tom Price rounding out the top 10.
And 11 through 20, Darrell Prince, Toby Butler, Bob Jones, Steve Johnson, Eddie Bryan. And in the 16th position, Wally Nightingale, Rick Corelli, Ken Hendrick, Brett Bell, and Steve Barr. Right now, excuse me, Jerry, there are 16 of those cars being shown on the lead lap.
Now, it should be quite a shootout, these final 10 laps, because we've got all the principals back up front after that pit stop, and they've had some caution laps. We've got Ron Hornaday back up there. Of course, Ken Peterson, always known for excitement. John Pox making his way back to the front. Herschel McGriff will be back in that area. Caution laps. There have been 28 laps under caution and 12 under green. So the score continues to separate a little bit there as we've had a few more laps under yellow. And no, they have not replaced the flagman to give him a break. He has just hung that yellow flag up a little bit, and we will be getting back to green here momentarily. It should be quite a shootout.
Yes, it should be. The top running rookie in this race is car number 83, running in 10th place. Now, that is Tom Price from Carson City, Nevada.
And we mentioned that car number 16 that's running in the 5th spot, Jerry Bowers. He has never raced in this country this year. He ran in Australia early in the year in a sort of a NASCAR style event down in Surfers Paradise. Had a great run down there. Currently being shown in the 5th spot here. Let's check in the pits with Benny Parsons.
Jerry Punch, we see in a conversation with Junior Baxter and Jack Steele, one of the NASCAR officials. What Junior Baxter is telling him is that in the driver's meeting, the cars that were a lap down were told to please move over and let the drivers that have a chance to win fight it out amongst themselves. The 6th car is, and that is Rick Corelli, who spun down in turn 11 earlier and got a lap down. They're trying to remind the NASCAR officials to tell him to please move over so they can go up there and race for the lead.
That's a good point. Very tough to pass here, and they could really give Hubert a chance to get quite a jump on the restart.
Yeah, it is tough to pass on this racetrack, as we've seen. Those front runners trying to pass each other, and it's just not an easy job to do.
And there's Rick Corelli in the car number 6. And the principal of that conversation right behind him is John Pox.
He has a fast race car. He just unfortunately got spun out down there in turn 11 and sat there for a lap, couldn't get the car fired.
I'm not sure Corelli wants to let Pox have too much of a shot. They're only 2 points apart in the point standings. Back to green flag racing, and they are scrambling, and John Pox has not come up to speed. His car is slow coming up toward turn 1. As Hubert now and Hornaday, Peterson and company now begin to pull away up toward turn 2.
Boy, Peterson just about went off track, and here's Hornaday taking the lead.
That's in turn 3, up the hill to 3A, and Peterson now slides beneath Hubert for 2nd spot.
You wonder if there's something wrong with Hubert. He's been a little slow there.
Hornaday is taking the lead. Peterson is 2nd. Now Hubert relegated back to 3rd spot. Then the lap car of Corelli. The car number 6 there. That's the lap car.
Talking about how tough it was to pass, and there those 2 guys just went past and made it look easy.
Coming out of turn 6, the carousel back to full speed. 4th gear, then they will gear back down. Tap the brakes. The hairpin turn 7.
Evidently, he's got a tire going down or something on that car 30, Jerry, because it is not handling the way it did earlier when he was leading this race. Tough break, whatever it is.
Car really not handling at all. The car is sort of washing out on the car number 30 as one of the lap cars. Car number 71 pulls up alongside Steve Anderson.
I understand there's a couple of cars, car number 5 of Brian Tremoni and the car number 16 of Jerry Bowers are going to be black flag for a stop and go penalty. Apparently they jumped the flag on the restart.
Well, that will hurt Bowers. He was being shown in the 5th spot.
Ooh, one car, the back end getting out almost into the wall there coming off of turn 11. And the 30 car didn't come in. Hubert just stayed out there. So apparently if he has the tire going down, it's not flat.
Here's John Pox. We talked about him slowing on the restart. He was looking to get a shot, and the car is still not up to speed. He comes out of turn 11. He's all the way back at the rear end of the field as the car number 76 goes by. That is Eddie Bryans. There's the leaders back up front as Peterson now beginning to put a little more pressure on Hornaday.
Yeah, Peterson was giving Pox all he wanted before they made their pit stops earlier in the race. Now he's up there giving Hornaday a battle. They're the best in the business.
Ron Hornaday trying to make it 2 in a row here as he really hangs on and wags a tail on the rear of that car number 97.
He really did. I'll tell you, he did a good job of holding it.
Well, we mentioned John Pox not coming up to speed. Let's check in with Benny Parsons. Benny, what's the problem?
Well, right now, John Pox is trying to talk to the crew. Has you said anything, Junior?
No, Benny hasn't said much. Something failed in the ignition. The car picked up a bad miss. We're trying to run for the points this year, so we need to finish. Right now, he's just babying the car around, trying to continue the race without it drying all the way.
Okay, they're waiting to see if he's going to come inside in the pits. Pass for the lead down in turn 11 then, Jerry.
Indeed, almost Peterson trying to get the car wrenched around to the outside. He thinks better of it. Now tries it on the high side, but Hornaday is there and will slam the door. And they will again race to turn 1. And we'll see if Peterson can get a shot inside him in turn 1. He's trying, but Hornaday, well, he may have him up in turn 1.
Well, he's got a fender up there. Yes, he's going to do it this time.
Now that is great road racing by Ken Peterson. Good job by Hornaday to hold him off. And Peterson, if he can get the momentum of that car, he will probably pull away from him a little bit.
It looks like he is going to. The car is very fast. It's handling well for him. And you don't see many passes made on that portion of the racetrack. Evidence of a good driver and, of course, a good handling race car.
We mentioned the 8th place car is pulled off. That is the car number 38. Toby Butler, Kirkland, Washington driver, in the Van Cleve, Larson, and King Ford. He has had troubles. And finally, John Cox, who had the ignition trouble, has made his way back to the pit. Let's check in with Benny Parsons.
Jerry Punch, they're acting like the car may be out of fuel. All of a sudden, they grabbed a fuel can and said, come on in. Put some gas in, away it goes, and now it sounds like it's running on 8 cylinders again. We'll have to wait and see.
Huh. Well, they must have goofed up, Benny, because he made a pit stop, and he made it late enough that he should have been able to go the rest of the way on fuel very easily. But now having to come in with about 8 laps to go, they must have not gotten it full.
Well, back up front, Ken Peterson now trying to pick up a win at Sears Point International Raceway as the laps are winding down. And Peterson now is pulled to 6 car lengths away from Ron Hornaday Jr. We'll be back with the checkered flag and more from Sears Point after this. Stay with us.
Warning. Cold starts can be tough on your car's engine because your motor oil might not reach some of its parts for a full minute. Fact. Independent lab tests confirm whether it's 35 below zero or 50 above. Quaker State 10W30 gets to all your engine parts faster than other leading 10W30s. At 40 degrees, it's 3 times faster. So don't let cold starts make it tough on your engine. Get Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
This is never gonna work. Hey, relax. Anybody can send them roses.
Excuse me, we didn't order these.
Ian, what's this?
Hi.
Did they really expect us to call them?
I'm telling you. Hello.
Nothing beats a bud.
31-year-old Ken Peterson from Kentfield, California, 1988 Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Southwest Tour, leading the way here in the closing laps at Sears Point Raceway. Peterson certainly no stranger to road course racing, a former Mazda Pro Series champion back in '87. And of course, done a lot of road racing, currently runs on some of the Fireheart Series events and also runs some dirt cars. Doesn't really have a steady ride in Southwest Tour competition. His full-time job, well, he runs a yacht harbor down in Sausalito on the edge of San Francisco for his father. Doing a great job today is holding off Ron Hornaday Jr. And not the first time these two guys have battled. In fact, in 1988, Ken Peterson and Ron Hornaday, these two drivers running first and second, tied for Rookie of the Year honors on the tour. And the tiebreaker went, of course, to Ken Peterson. He was named Rookie of the Year in 1988. So again, they're at it as the lap's winding down, just 5 to go.
That tiebreaker was determined by the best finish. So they have had some good battles.
Ron Hornaday Jr., of course, whose father was a 2-time Winston West Series champion, Ron Sr. And Ken Peterson really pulling away. And the 30 car, which is being shown as our 3rd place car, coming there, now down out of turn 4, sweeping through turn 5, that's 30.
Jerry, you know, I made the comment that maybe he had a tire going down. It could be. See, it's been a long time since he's been in the pits. The tires on his car are worn more than the 2 cars in front of him because they made pit stops later. That could be the difference right now, that he isn't running as good. And maybe he's trying to save fuel, although I thought that he could go. It was about 35 laps to go when he did make his pit stop, and a lot of those laps have been made under caution.
Now winding through the S's there, turns 8 and 9. That, of course, the leader Peterson. There was Hornaday. Here comes Hubert. in the car number 30, the third place car.
It looks like the car is handling okay now. It looks like it was when, after the restart, it looked like he was kicking out in a couple of turns as the car number 20, Peterson, comes through 11 here.
Looks like the car number 30 really has some tires that have gone away. Just dirt tracking it up in turn 7 there.
Yeah, he really did. He almost lost the car there. So it could be that his tires have just gone away because 2 of them have been on there the entire distance of the race. And the 2 freshest ones, when he had a flat earlier in the race, have been on there for a long, long time.
Now remember, Ken Peterson is driving in relief for Lauren Kelly, a longtime Southwest Tour competitor. He was burned significantly in a backyard incident while burning some brush back in the early part of May. Lauren Kelly is on hand here at the track today, coming back from burns we are told that approximated 40% of his body. Certainly a lot of the Southwest Tour regulars glad to see Lauren Kelly, and wouldn't it be nice for Ken Peterson to come and drive in relief, sort of coming out of semi-retirement if he can retire at age 31, Ned, and for Ken Peterson to come back and do such a nice job for Lauren Kelly to possibly bring this car home to victory.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a very happy and perhaps somewhat of an emotional victory lane if he is able to do it. And the way he's running right now, he has an excellent chance.
Roger Bracken, of course, the crew chief on the car, who was with Herschel McGriff for a number of years. Herschel now being shown back in the 6th spot. Ken Peterson is just absolutely handling this road course.
Well, he has a lot of experience on it. He has made a lot of laps around this road course, and there is nothing that will replace seat time and getting around any racetrack, but particularly a road course.
Ron Hornaday, of course, a veteran, has a number of great finishes here in the Southwest Tour competition. Hubert, the 3rd place car, really struggling, fighting that steering wheel coming out of turn 11. Car number 94 is the lap car of Kenny Hendrick. And they're anxiously awaiting. There's Lauren Kelly. You just saw him with your back to you there, and that big hat on. He's got to be all smiles as he was there in the pit in the car that he owns, still running up front. And you see him going by the hapless John Pox, our pole sitter. Pox, who felt he was going to be a factor and would have been a factor, but possibly that ignition problem in the car not running up to speed. He just really can't stay with Kenny Peterson.
He's approaching those turns very carefully and widening his lead as he goes along, even though he's running hard. I say carefully. He's careful not to make any mistake or take any unnecessary chances, because he knows that what he has to do is keep that car on course, because he is widening the lead. And the gray car looks like he might be smoking a little bit now.
With a smoke in the left rear, that car number 30, Pontiac.
I think his tires have completely gone away.
There's Ken Peterson. We mentioned he doesn't have a steady ride on the Southwest Tour. Lauren Kelly, who had the burn. Now, Lauren told me earlier today that he was going to try to get back in the car around September. So you got to wonder if possibly with this kind of showing, if he wouldn't ask Kenny Peterson when he's available to drive the car.
Boy, you would think so, because he has certainly done a masterful job here today.
There's Hubert going by to see John Pox's car, not up to speed.
Herschel McGriff is coming slow down out of turn 10. Apparently something wrong with his car. Here's the car number 30, really struggling now, Jerry. I think the tires have completely gone away. He's slipping and sliding. Look at there, almost dirt cracking coming out of turn 11.
Eddie Bryan giving him a wide road to hoe there coming out of turn 11. That's car number 76. Bryan's making sure he didn't make contact and possibly ruin an opportunity for Hubert to get a big run. And there's the car you were talking about, Ned.
Yeah, Herschel McGriff. Tough break for him just a couple of laps ago and headed into the pits, a U.S. Bank car.
And his record of 2 consecutive second-place finishes, his string will come to an end here just with a couple of laps to go. Herschel McGriff will also compete in tomorrow's 300-kilometer event, our Winston Cup race, live on ESPN.
qualified in the 22nd position.
63 years of age, and
finally, after all that dirt tracking, he got out on the dirt to do it this time. Now he gets it back on the pavement. Let's see, is he going to lose some positions here?
The 99 car was in fourth spot. He just went by him. That's the red car number 99. That's Craig Rodman from Redding, California, and he did indeed lose third spot.
Well, one thing that he'll need to be careful about, if he's coming around to get the white flag, is don't get overly excited and lose more trying to gain that one position back.
White flag for Kenny Peterson, a 31-year-old driver from Kentfield, California. And they're extremely happy there in the pits. Kenny from nearby Sausalito, California. Final lap as he will try to wind his way around this 2.5-mile road course and pick up his first win in his first start in 1991.
Boy, you can tell that he has been around this racetrack. He knows exactly when to back off, how close to the grass he can run. He makes the turns as wide as he possibly can. Uh-oh, here he is. The car number 30 is off again. And one thing I said, he wanted to be careful not to get overly excited chasing that 99 and maybe lose another position. Don't know if he lost one this time. The next position up was the car number 07, I believe, who was running in the 5th position.
And the Chevrolet Lumina for Kenny Peterson. Makes the right-hand turn there. Up out of turn 7. Will head down toward turn 8 beneath the Goodyear Bridge. Still grabbing the ripple strips on the inside, on the outside. Winding his way. Back to the right. He will head for turn 10. Accompanied the Winston Cup Series bridge for turn 10 and turn 11. The checkered flag awaits.
The only thing that'll stop him now if his brakes fail going into 11, Jerry.
And Lauren Kelly and the people in his pits have got to be happy for Kenny Peterson if he can just, and indeed they are, as they will begin to celebrate. And Lauren Kelly, from a serious burn just 4 weeks ago, sees his car go to victory lane with 31-year-old Kenny Peterson taking the win here at Sears Point International Raceway. This is Lauren Kelly's first win as a car, the 5th different winner in Southwest Tour competition in 1991. Finishing second will be Ron Hornaday Jr. There is Kenny Peterson, the winner, as he waves to the crowd, and indeed he is excited. From running a yacht basin just a few days ago to being offered a ride in a top-notch Southwest Tour car, he now has won here at Sears Point Raceway.
Well, it's obvious right from the start he had a good race car, and he drove it well. You don't see a lot of marks on that race car. A few, but not many. No big bang-up situations. He rubbed closely a couple of times with some other cars, but he stayed out of trouble, drove a good race.
Well, we thought Lauren Kelly might be a little bit happy, and I know that he's just happy to be out of the hospital and be able to get back to the racetrack, but what a way to come back. I think he's now standing by with our Benny Parsons. BP.
You just can't hardly hold you're so excited.
I'm still excited right now. Still excited. He drove the wheels off the thing, you know. I mean, pit stops work great. Everything worked great. Everything, you know. When everything goes right, that's what happens, you know.
Is it more exciting to be here in the pits or out on the racetrack as a driver?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's exciting either way. Just to be here, you know.
That's what I was going to say. Just to be here is pretty exciting.
Yeah, you got that right.
Because there were some times that you thought you might not be here.
There's a couple months ago, you got that right, yeah. But we're doing really good. We decided to put Kenny in the car about 2 weeks before this race. And the guy came to the shop, thrashed on the car, got it ready, came out here and just, what can you say? They did a great job. Everybody did a great job.
Lauren, it's a great story. It's great to see.
Right, thanks a lot, Benny. Thanks.
And I tell you, they got to be celebrating. They got to be happy for this young man, the car number 30, Tom Hubert, who did just a wonderful job. Even though he had a few spins those last laps or two, the tires were completely gone.
Yeah, I think the tires were gone, and he was just driving his heart out and perhaps overdriving just a little bit there. He spun one time and lost third position, and then trying to get it back, and I guess got overly anxious again, but still wound up, I believe, in 4th place.
Well, he did wind up in 4th place behind, of course, Ken Peterson won it. Ron Hornaday finishing 2nd spot. The 3rd officially going to Craig Rodman, and 4th was to the car number 30. And you don't think he's happy? Not at all. When we come back, we'll hear from the winner here of the Sears Point International Raceway, Kodalux Processing 200. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Some people think he's a Superman, but when a 44-year-old has to throw 75 fastballs, even Nolan Ryan's muscles can ache. So after the game, it's the medicine doctors recommend most for sprains and strains, Advil.
For me, it's a couple of Advil, and those muscle aches are long gone. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Today, it isn't aspirin or Tylenol acetaminophen, it's Advil.
I feel ready to go another 9 innings.
Advil, tablets and caplets, advanced medicine for pain.
Live, top-ranked boxing on ESPN. The place where fighters have stepped into the ring as unknowns, made the right connections, and emerged as champions.
You gotta knock them off the win system, all right?
Junior Poison Jones puts his undefeated record on the line against Alejandro Sanabria. 2 world-rated bantamweight contenders battle head-to-head on Top Rank Boxing. Thursday night, live on ESPN.
Back at Sears Point Raceway is Ken Peterson clowning out. We might mention super bouts will not be seen today. We'll be followed by Sports Center with Chris Myers and Chris Fowler, and some updating stories there from the French Open Women's Finals and the Belmont Stakes. But some pretty high stakes now today being settled at Sears Point Raceway. Let's go down to Benny Parsons. BP?
Jerry, I can't get in the middle of all this crowd. Kenny, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a great one. I was having my doubts there at first with qualifying and all, but the team really pulled through. And I got to thank Lauren Kelly for letting me drive his car, Roger Bracken for setting it up, doing a great job. And then the last one's got to be Pat and the crew for doing a phenomenal job.
You told me at the top of the show, before as you was walking down the car, that you made a lot of changes just before the race.
Right, I said we were either going to be heroes or donks. We were definitely going to get on the TV for being sideways and all wild, looking good for the crowd, or we were going to run to the front. We did a little of both.
You was pretty excited out there?
Oh, yeah, that was great. I got to thank my Petaluma dirt track experience of recent days for helping me get through those pileups.
I thought you retired. You're not a retired race car driver?
I am, but I go up to Petaluma and I have an modified that I run in. It's a ball, but this is a big day for me.
Well, where do you go from here? Have any idea?
Well, I won the last one, didn't get a whole lot out of it, but I got a set of keys for this race, and maybe somebody will give me the keys for another one. That's what I'm looking for. It's kind of hard when you don't run your own team, and just getting a ride with somebody else. They don't come easy. But I hope I'm able to do it.
You know, during the week, what does Ken Peterson do during the week? Work on race cars?
No, actually, I work on them at night. Yes, I do. But during the day, I work general manager of Clipper Yacht Harbor in Sausalito. It's a family-owned company.
Yacht Harbor, is that no motors with sails?
A little bit of all those. All we do is we're like a floating apartment building. We rent the slips out to everybody.
Well, Ken, it was a great show. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And also, I'd like to thank Redline Oil and Hoosier Tires for sticking with me. They were my previous sponsors, and they stuck with me all the way through this one, too, and I'm glad I could bring them home a win. Thank you.
A very happy young man, Ken Peterson, and of course he was among the leaders. There were 6 lead changes among 5 drivers today, 8 caution flags for 29 of the 50 laps, and of course with 29 laps under caution we set a record of sorts for the average speed, the slowest in Southwest Tour history at 59.717 miles per hour. And yes, the sun does begin to set a little bit in the west here in the beautiful wine country of Sonoma, California. We'll have the full rundown when we come back to Sears Point Raceway after words from our sponsors. Stay with us.
I never saw you hit so well. I'm here in 3, you're here in 1. Bill.
How'd you do, Jack?
In 3, out in 3. What are you doing? You're playing your best golf, and every time I look up, you're staring at TV. Saturday cartoons make you so good?
It's a special Golf Digest instructional video. The Golf Digest schools pulled 10 instant golf lessons from their 10-cassette collection.
Graphics, instruction, real professional advice, 10 instant lessons?
A half hour of the best stuff for a golfer.
It's priceless.
It's free.
Free?
With my subscription to Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77.
Call 800-367-5800 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-367-5800 now.
When trouble with your car has you feeling a little wobbly, hurry into your neighborhood Parts Plus Auto Parts store, because you can count on the pros at Parts Plus for the right parts the first time and the right prices. During our Repair America sweepstakes, be one of 2 families to win either a 1991 Ford Explorer or Aerostar. Hundreds of other prizes to win, too. Car owners of all ages count on the pros at Parts Plus.
We're America's family of auto parts stores.
If it happens in baseball, you'll see it on ESPN.
There he goes. He leaves. He makes the catch.
See Tuesday night doubleheaders, Wednesday night excitement, Friday night twin bills, and exclusive Sunday night action. The Blue Jays are locked in battle for first place, led by the bat of Joe Carter. Cal Ripken Jr. is putting up Triple Crown numbers for the Orioles. The Blue Jays meet the Orioles live on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Back in Sonoma, California, just concluding the Kodalux Processing 200-kilometer event here at Sears Point Raceway. Beautiful afternoon for racing here in the wine country, nearby Napa Valley in the Sonoma Valley, home, of course, of some of the world's finest wines and champagnes, as the fans enjoying the beautiful weather and, of course, the afternoon of racing here. We might mention, of course, Super Bouts will not be seen. We'll be taking you to the top of the hour where Sports Center will follow us. Chris Myers and Chris Feller will have all the updates on the Belmont Stakes, as well as the women's finals from the French Open. And, of course, our finish today, Ken Peterson takes the win. Ron Hornaday Jr. now unofficially, according to our stats, he may have taken the point lead here. In fact, we are calculating now he may have a 4-point lead over Rick Corelli in second spot and John Pox in third. Craig Roudman finished third. Tom Hubert, a masterful job to come home in fourth. And the car number 4, Steve Johnson, a rookie driver, did a great job. Started way back in 24th spot and finished in the 5th position. So a good job for Steve Johnson in 5th. Greg Scheidecker, who's had a pretty tough year, his best finish of the year thus far in 6th. Jerry Bowers making that first start here in North America after running and racing in Australia, will finish in 7th. Tom McCarthy is 8th. Bob Jones, another young man having a good run in the top 10, finishing 9th. And Darrell Prince in the car number 15 finishes in 10th. Ned?
And 11th, Kenny Hendrick. Brett Bell comes home in the 12th position. Rick Corelli, even though he lost that lap after spinning out down there, came back to finish 13th. Eddie Bryan's 14th. Tom Price 15th. 16th through 20th, Steve Barr, Wally Gill, Rod Bennett, Ray Hooper Jr., after a lot of troubles today, came back to finish 19th. And Herschel McGriff, who went out with just a couple of laps to go, came home in 20th.
21st, we saw the man who sat on the pole, John Pox, who had trouble this afternoon late in the day with that ignition problem. He will finish in 21st. Steve Anderson is 22nd. Monty Martin is 23rd. Flying Brian Germoni, last year's Rookie of the Year, finishes 24th. And the Northwest Tour regular, Toby Butler, finishes 25th. 26th, Gerald Short. 27th, Dennis Dyer, hoping to get his first win of the year after 2 second-place finishes early in the season. He will not do it today. Todd Knox, an early leader here. Good run for him early on, but he had trouble late in the day. He finishes 28th. Last year's series champion and winner here at Sears Point, Doug George, will take his car home in 29th spot. And Charlie Saeed, a longtime car owner, trying his hand behind the wheel today, will finish 30th.
And in 31st, Roy Testa, with our in-car camera, had a lot of problems today. Randy Laskowski comes home in 32nd. Phil Perry 33rd. Ken Boyd 34th. And Will Harper finishes 35th. 36th through 40th, Rich Schramm, Mark Perry, Bob Lyon, Paul Doherty Jr., and Larry London.
And one of the hardest working men on the racetrack today, besides the flagman who waved those caution flags for 8 times, we mentioned Ron Esau and Mark Hain finished 41st and 42nd, is a young man who drove the car number 30, 26-year-old Tom Hubert, who's standing by with Benny Parsons.
You look like you're worn out.
A little bit. We knew it was going to be tough right off the bat. First race, mainly this year, long race, and no power steering. We just were glad to make the race, and to do as good as we did is more than winning it right now.
You know, when you lost the lead there at the end, is there any way to describe the emotion that how disappointed you feel when just a few laps to go someone passes for the lead?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I just main thing I was trying to do, just get back where I could and keep going. But I guess we lost a belt off the rear end tranny cooler, and it was throwing oil everywhere, and that's what caused us to spin and lose it. So we tried, did the best, better than we thought we would, and we're happy.
Well, hopefully we'll all be back next year and we can do the same thing again, only with better results.
We will.
Okay, Jerry.
Nice young man who certainly had a good run today. We'll hear more from him down the road. Remember his name, Tom Hubert from Cottonwood, California, in his racing Pontiac. Great racing today, and we certainly want to thank a lot of people for making such a wonderful day for us. Once again, our thanks to Owen Kearns, the NASCAR Western Operations Director of Public Relations, for giving us all those great facts on the Southwest Tour competitors. Tonight, lots of racing action coming your way. 7:30 p.m. is Speed Week, followed at 8 o'clock by Mickey Thompson's Off-Road Championships. At 9 o'clock, how about those USAC midgets? Great racing action from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. live Eastern Time from right here in Sonoma, the Banquet Frozen Foods 300-kilometer event. NASCAR racing, great Western road racing style. Our congratulations to Ken Peterson, 31-year-old driver from Kentville, California, picking up his first win of 1991. For Benny Parsons and Ned Jerry, I'm Jerry Point saying congratulations to Ken and so long from Sonoma.